Elizabeth Warren is afraid. She's afraid of attorney John Deaton, who's pro-crypto and may run against her. She sent out an email looking to raise money from her donors. And Japan is looking to allow VCs, venture capitalists, to invest directly in crypto and Web3 startups. That's going to bring a load of capital into the market. And Ethereum is looking to make a huge upgrade as to staking benefits. We're going to break this down and much more. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. Well, folks, let's start with the price of Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is at $51,788. Not a bad price, and Bitcoin is consolidating. It's moving sideways. Very boring, right? The thing I'm watching is Bitcoin is in its overbought scenario. We see in the RSI, it's headed downwards. And if you look at the history of the RSI, this could be a period where it bounces up a little bit. Maybe it just keeps moving sideways and we do go up a little bit further, or it starts collapsing. So this is where we want to look at all these signals, all these facts, and understand the market principles and wait to see what Bitcoin does. My strategy is if it keeps going higher, that's great. I want the price to go up. If it starts pulling back and it goes down and tests 40K, 35K, I'll be buying some more. I'll dollar cost average in and then look to sell in 2025 at the blow up top. So right now we are seeing some altcoins are moving. Some of them are popping off pretty strong. Last week it was VeChain. I saw Fetch.ai was also pumping. Ethereum right now is at near $3,000. So the liquidity will flow from Bitcoin down to the alts. We've seen it before. And one thing I want to highlight here from Plan B, he has the Bitcoin Relative Strength Index, the RSI, and he has charted it from, back in the day when Bitcoin started, showing where we're at in the market cycle. So we see we are in a uptrend. We are in a bull market, but the bull market lasts for multiple years. Usually there's a 3-year period, then you have a 1-year bear market, right? So right now we're in the upward trend. We have momentum, but that doesn't mean we're going to go up in a straight line. And this is what people miss. They think it has to keep going up in a straight line every month, every day. That's not possible. Markets have to correct, right, along the way. So I'm not shorting or anything like that. I'm just looking to position myself and buy more, and then of course take profits along the way up. I want to make money. That's what I'm here for. So right now we see the RSI, it's around between 65 to 70 on this chart here, and it could pull back. If you look at the previous cycles on the way up, there are pullbacks. You see a spike up, a pullback, spike up, pullback, spike up, pullback, right? Normal market cycles playing out. So exciting times, folks, and we just have to be patient. Once again, we got this year and we got 2025. 2023 is completed, obviously, and we had a run up in 2023. But, you look at that chart, it was not a straight line. There were a lot of corrections there. There were a lot of people calling for, Bitcoin to drop to the very lows. I'm not expecting Bitcoin to drop to the super lows or anything like that, but I am anticipating a pullback, which will be healthy. The other factor is that the stock market, if you look at the stock market, the RSI kind of doing the same thing here for the S&P 500, the NASDAQ also seeing the same thing, right? The stock market could start correcting a bit as well. And look, when the rate cuts come, I think there will be a sharp correction, not a bear market, just a correction. Now, you can have sharp corrections in a bull market. Just remember that. Go back and look at the charts. And but we're going to keep moving upwards. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing global liquidity on the rise. Bitcoin and the stock market highly correlated to global liquidity. I believe after the Fed cuts rates, they're going to start the money printer. It's an election year. Things have to look good. So when in doubt, zoom out, folks. Now, let's jump into the news. Eleanor Terrett of Fox Business is highlighting the following. Senator Elizabeth Warren is rallying her donor base in anticipation of a challenge to her Massachusetts Senate seat from a pro-crypto candidate. And that pro-crypto candidate is, of course, John Deaton. In an email sent to me by a source who received it, Warren directly addresses the Boston Globe report speculating that John Deaton will run against her in this year's election. Deaton has not yet announced whether he intends to. Warren says she's not worried, but her tone tells a different story as she stresses that the crypto lobby has put a target on her back for trying to get the industry to comply with regulations and protect consumers from scam. Now, we know Elizabeth Warren is a big-time fraud, corrupt, and liar. Here's an example. Just this past week, what did the Treasury do? They debunked her lies that she and the Wall Street Journal colluded on to put out a report that Hamas was using primarily crypto to fund their operations, when it's super minimal because they were actually getting flagged because of the blockchain. You can trace it. But the majority of their nefarious activities is done in fiat currency, in cash. And so has in the history of the world, it's fiat currency. So to try to blame these bad actions on crypto is disingenuous, right? We know she's a liar. And this is not the first time she's lied about crypto. Now, the other aspect, she has her gimp on a leash, Gary Gensler, who has been attacking in the industry, and he's losing in court. So she's afraid, one, because the facts are not on her side, and her puppet on the string, Gary Gensler, is not winning. He's losing. Loss against Grayscale, the debt box situation. The judges exposed the SEC for lying. And the Ripple case, the SEC took a big loss. They didn't lose the entire thing, don't get me wrong, but they took a big loss because the key factor was they wanted to make the token intrinsically a security, but the token is intrinsically not a security, just like the oranges and the Howey test were not the securities. It was the packaging. How is it served up to the user, to the market, and so forth, right? These are the nuances and the facts that matter. But Elizabeth Warren, she has an agenda. I mean, the woman went out there with the slogan, I'm building an anti-crypto army. Why would you do that? You can say, hey, I'm pushing for crypto regulations because I want to stop the likes of FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and Celsius. But she wants to be anti-crypto. That right away shows you her true agenda. It's to protect the incumbents who are getting disrupted. Your Jamie Dimons and JP Morgan and so forth. They don't like this, folks. Many of them are dabbling in crypto now, but they don't like the disruption. Folks, money is leaving their pockets and going into crypto assets, and they can't custody it, they can't control it. It's a big time disruption. You really have to sit down and think about their business model and what they've been doing for a long time, and the chokehold they've had on investment, and having the accreditation laws and so forth. Now anybody, the average Joe and Jane, can go invest in tokens, and that could be done globally. They hate it. The banks, the TradFi folks, they hate it, folks. So this right here, this email that she sent out smells of fear. The man, John Deaton, hasn't even said he's running yet. He said he's thinking about running. And of course, John, he's a fighter. And if you read his book, I highly recommend checking out his book. He's been fighting on behalf of the crypto industry, obviously XRP holders in the Ripple case. And he's not going to put up with lies and all the fraud stuff. He's going to expose her. The thing Elizabeth Warren has going for her is she has a ton of money, right? And she's been getting money from her buddies on Wall Street and so forth. And she's got a treasure chest to fight back. And she's got a lot of donors, right? But we are seeing her getting exposed. She's lost the narrative. And I think John does stand a strong chance, given everything that's going on with the Biden administration and just how things have been going in the United States. So I'm keeping it real, with that, from that standpoint. But it will be hard to unseat her. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's possible, is what I'm trying to say. So very interesting. She also did an interview here, and Cointelegraph highlighted it, where she gives some quotes. Where it's, for example, the headline reads, "Flood of money from crypto super PACs could fund a potential challenger to Elizabeth Warren." And she's worried about the money because the crypto industry has been rallying together and injecting a lot of capital into a fund that is going to donate to pro-crypto candidates and members of Congress. So interesting times, and I smell fear. I love it because this person we know is a liar. Once again, has been spreading lies. Even when the facts debunk her lies, she doesn't come out and apologize or retract anything. It's pathetic. Now, we got news here that the UK to release new crypto and stablecoin legislation within the next 6 months. Remember, the UK passed crypto regulations, so did the EU. And look, I know some people don't like all the things that have come out here, but I think this is a good first step, and they're going to have to fine tune it, and the industry is going to have to work with these regulators to say, hey, this is draconian or it's an overreach. Let's balance this out. So I think there's some work to be done here. Hopefully, it's not anything where it stifles innovation, right? We want balanced regulation. Now, folks, quick word from our sponsor, and that is Uphold. Uphold is one of the top crypto platforms. I've been using them since 2018. They have 260 plus cryptocurrencies. You can buy and trade Bitcoin and all the top altcoins. In fact, you can also trade precious metals such as gold, silver, palladium, platinum. They have stablecoins. They have a lot of national currencies, fiat currencies that they support, and they're available in over 150 countries. One of the great things, folks, is that they are fully reserved. You can go review their transparency reports. They don't commingle or lend out your funds and all that nonsense. So I trust Uphold. I can vouch for them. Like I said, I've been using them since 2018. So if you'd like to learn more, please visit the link in the description. Now, here's some very bullish news coming out of Japan, folks. Japan seeks to allow certain VCs, venture capitalists, to invest directly in crypto and Web3 startups. The Japanese cabinet has approved a proposal to add cryptocurrencies to the list of assets that local investment limited partnerships can acquire or hold, the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry announced on February 16th. The ministry said in a Friday announcement that the approved revision, which contains amendments to the Act on Strengthening Industrial Competitiveness, would expand strategic investment to provide support for local startups and medium-sized companies. Such revision would allow venture capital firms to invest in projects that only issue cryptocurrencies, local news outlet CoinPost reported on Saturday. Wow, folks, game theory playing out throughout the world. We've often talked about it on this podcast over the years. You got one country that makes a move, no one wants to get left behind, the competitiveness increases, and they all look to jump in. And obviously, this is going to unlock a ton of capital for the crypto market. And we're seeing it happening globally, folks. And we're going to talk about Hong Kong next. Following the cabinet approval, the bill has been submitted to the legislative body and will be deliberated upon, the ministry said in a statement. Limited partnerships in Japan often serve the purpose of investing in unlisted companies, which has become a common measure of VCs to invest in startups, according to local news outlet CoinPost. Very bullish news, folks. Now, here's the Hong Kong news. Hong Kong exchange licensing clarity attracts traditional brokerages. So less than a year after Hong Kong regulators approved crypto exchanges, traditional financial institutions and brokerages alike have been keen to obtain their digital asset licenses for trading. In January, Chinese stock brokerage Tiger Brokers upgraded its Type 1 Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission to include crypto trading for professional investors and financial institutions based in Hong Kong. In an interview with Cointelegraph, John Fei Zhang, if I'm saying that right, Chief Financial Officer and Director of Tiger Brokers, explained that the firm currently has 865,500 funded accounts with a combined $18.9 billion in assets under management. Here's a quote. Currently, Tiger Brokers has uplifted its license to trade virtual assets for professional investor clients through a SFC licensed virtual assets platform and will accept retail clients after SFC's approval, said Feng. Residents of Hong Kong will be able to trade virtual assets such as Bitcoin and Ethereum alongside stocks, options, futures, funds, and ETFs. Wow, folks. And I don't know how many of you remember, but just about a month ago, there was reports Hong Kong wants a Bitcoin spot ETF. It's amazing. And that's going to open up a ton of capital to come in. So the ETF party has not even begun yet because you have the US, who just got approved of 6 weeks ago. And then now, Hong Kong and you're going to see other jurisdictions also get ETFs. It's amazing what's taking place. So the firm is currently evaluating additional digital assets such as altcoins for listing subject to regulatory approval alongside an international expansion strategy in licensed markets such as Australia, the US, Singapore, Hong Kong, and UK, New Zealand, Feng said. Folks, game theory, global expansion, launching of new services, everybody trying to get the largest slice of the market here. It's amazing what's happening. And all of these things will culminate to more capital flowing into the market, more adoption of these blockchain and cryptocurrencies, and obviously higher valuations. So that's why I am super excited for this bull market cycle. And 2025, I think, is going to be amazing. And the ETF narrative is really strong. So imagine in the Asian markets, they launch a Bitcoin spot ETF and Ethereum spot ETF and much more. It's going to be really cool. Now, Edward Snowden tweeted out something yesterday that I want to share with you guys, and I think he's right here. Unpopular but true, he says. Bitcoin is the most significant monetary advance since the creation of coinage. If you don't believe me or don't get it, I don't have time to try to convince you. Sorry. I think he's absolutely right. Now, you may not like Bitcoin, you may not hold Bitcoin, but you can't deny that it is the start of something incredible, so disruptive. And I've often talked about it with different guests on the podcast that for the first time in history, you have the ability to create currencies because of the blockchain and have network effect and have your own movement of value. And obviously, it has to be good, right? So that people will participate on the network, like having Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and other tokens, right? It can't just be frog coin and nobody wants it, right? So don't get me wrong, but you have this global network, this financial network that is Bitcoin and others as well, and you can participate in that network and gain in its benefits. So it opened the door to this new disruptive technology. So he's absolutely right. It's the most advanced since the creation of coinage. So I share this because I think there's people who are now getting into crypto that don't really understand what's taking place here. They may see just an opportunity to make money, and there is an opportunity to make money, but don't miss the technological revolution, the disruption that's taking place. And you can, of course, go work in the industry. You can build your own project. You can build the picks and shovels, so to speak, right? You don't have to be digging or mining for the gold. I hope you understand my analogy. In the gold rush, there was different ways to make money. You can go mine for the gold, or you can sell the picks and shovels and the whatever, what do you call those things? The tray to sift the water and the rocks to get the gold out. You guys know what I mean. And you can make money that way. So think about it. If you're an entrepreneur, an innovator, and you want to get involved, it's the birth, guys, of the next industrial revolution. As in my interview with Kathy Wood, we talked about this, and not just crypto and blockchain. Obviously, you got AI, EV. It's like the late 1800s and the early 1900s, folks. New revolutionary technology. It may seem a bit clunky right now, but there will be further iterations, and it'll eventually become an airplane, right? The automobile and combustion engine led to the airplane, and then to spaceships and all that, right? Come on, right? You guys know, if you study history and technology, it's amazing to see these things play out. Now, I want to highlight something here about Bitcoin. I believe Bitcoin is a great store of value. I believe in it as digital gold and its scarcity aspect, and I'm invested in it. Now, do I think it's great for payments? Hell no. I've said that for years. That is why you have many people looking to build layer two solutions like the Lightning Network to improve, payments. Now, there was an interesting tweet from Russell Okung. He's a former NFL player, and he's a Bitcoiner. He's into crypto. He has been for a long time. And, he talked about here during his time in Africa while advocating for the Lightning Network, he says, I faced a cold, hard realization. Despite my efforts, I found that more people were interested in dealing with USDT, the stablecoin, rather than Bitcoin. They desired USD, even if they were synthetic versions. Well, why am I sharing this with you? Because I think we have to make sure that we understand what the future might look like. I've said for a while, I respect the people building the Lightning Network, but I haven't seen any great solutions coming out of that where it has market penetration and global adoption. Now, I know things take time, but I don't see it. I honestly, right now, sometimes I pay, people to edit my videos, and they're overseas and they want USDT, and I send them that. They don't want Bitcoin, they don't want Ethereum, because the USDT is pegged to the US dollar. The USDC, which is issued by Circle, is pegged to the US dollar. And the US dollar, being the world reserve currency, is still the go-to currency that people want. Now, that could change, don't get me wrong, but stable coins are often faster than Bitcoin. Speed is important, and transaction fees are important, right? Because if you have to pay a crazy amount of fees to move from Bitcoin, not worth it. And in a first world country like the United States, where I'm at, sure, I may not mind But people who are in other developing countries who can't afford to pay crazy fees, they're going to want to use things that are cheap, fast, and efficient. So something to think about here. And Austin Campbell said, yeah, I've had him on the podcast. He also weighed in. He said, I witnessed the same behavior at Paxos. USDC stablecoins were what most people desire to hold their money in. That will remain so long as US dollar is valued and the currency is well managed. If it is not, that will change. This is the nature of all reserve currencies through time. Absolutely. He's absolutely right. He says it also fundamentally misunderstands Bitcoin. It's actually not that great for transacting, but works better as a store of value. We don't pay for sandwiches in gold. We keep gold in a vault and occasionally sell off parts of it for more liquid fiat currency with which we buy sandwiches. Pretty logical stuff, right? He's absolutely right. I'm not going to continue reading everything, but I just wanted to share some point of views and things that we should think about and what we are expecting for Bitcoin. And once again, digital gold, great store of value. I'm holding it, and it has made me money. Now, Vitalik Buterin, co-founder of Ethereum, he's been tweeting about verkle trees. So here's the headline. Verkle trees promise superior Ethereum solo staking benefits, says Vitalik. Verkle trees form part of Ethereum's post-merge roadmap, promising smaller proof sizes and lower hardware requirements for nodes. So, the folks at Ethereum continue to develop and expand, and there's a lot of things they have in their roadmap. So much respect to them. The Ethereum co-founder touted the benefits of the technological upgrade to Ethereum's protocol in an X post. Verkle trees are anticipated to enable stateless validator clients, with Buterin noting its functionality to allow staking nodes to run with near zero hard disk space and sync nearly instantly. Buterin previously outlined a 5-step gradual process that will bring the smart contract blockchain to what he described as the end game of Ethereum's development. This came after the highly anticipated activation of the Beacon chain, which saw Ethereum shift to proof of stake consensus in September 2022. Verkle trees form part of the roadmap, which Buterin shared in late 2022. 5 keywords encapsulated the ongoing development phases. The merge, surge, verge, purge, and splurge outline the technical details of different development milestones. So we'll see, how this proceeds, but great to see that they're making progress, and this makes sense what Buterin is suggesting here. Final item here, folks. Revolut plans or plots standalone crypto exchange. So I'm not sure how many of you have heard about the Revolut app. I think mostly the EU and UK users or viewers of this podcast and listeners have probably heard of it. So the financial technology company said it's developing a standalone crypto exchange. CoinDesk first reported the news, noting that the exchange would be targeting advanced traders. Here's a quote. We always develop new products and functionalities desired by our customers or asked by the market. The standalone cryptocurrency exchange is one of the future developments, but more information will be released only when the product will be available in-app. Currently, this product is accessible by invite only. We will be rolling this out and inviting more customers to take part. A spokesperson told Blockworks. So interesting, and it just shows, once again, continued expansion, everybody preparing for the next bull market. Well, we are in the next bull market, but as retail enters back in and everybody wants to get as much market share as possible. So once again, folks, I'm very bullish. I am looking forward to 2025. My wish is, of course, the new all-time highs come sooner than later. But we got to be patient. Part of investing, you got to be patient, folks. And you got to zoom out. You got to read the charts and understand what's happening. Anyway, folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Hit the 5-star rating on the podcast platforms. Folks, please follow me on Twitter, X, on Instagram, on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. Links are in the description. It supports the podcast. It doesn't take anything out of your pocket. It's all free stuff. Please also sign up for my free email newsletter. Link will be in the description, folks. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'll talk to you all later.